An early compensability assessment, or ECA for short, is a product we developed over 17 years ago to help the adjusters establish not so much what is the compensable injury, but more importantly, what is not the compensable injury. The purpose of an early compensability assessment, or ECA for short, is to establish and identify all comorbidities or other degenerative processes that were not a function of this compensable event. There are specific procedures that we follow in reviewing the diagnostic criterion to establish that this pathology is not acute and therefore not a function of the compensable event. As you know, as this population ages, there are more and more degenerative changes, more and more comorbidities that are clearly not a function of this particular event. Health insurance has become a very expensive proposition. Oftentimes, providers want to incorporate other comorbidities because the treatment is absolutely required to be provided, but not as a function of their workers' compensation claim. Again, as noted in the statute, workers' compensation is to address the sequelae of the compensable injury alone. Adjusters need clear, comprehensive clinical narrative that are defensible in all levels of the adjudication process. Here at Clinical Compensation Consultants, we employ the standard of evidence-based medicine. Using the nationally published guidelines, the MD guidelines, the official disability guidelines, and the American College of Occupational Environmental Medicine guides, we can provide you an evidence-based medicine report that stands up at any level of adjudication. In those rare clinical situations where the particular topic is not addressed in either of these guidelines, we conduct a literature search so that you have the most current clinical information that has been published in the medical literature. A comprehensive look at the early records provided in the case can establish what pathologies or diagnoses are clearly not related to the reported mechanism of injury. This allows you to establish the extent of injury early on in the case and thereby becoming a cost savings tool later on in the case. As such, the utilization of an early compensability assessment helps you identify those comorbidities, those degenerative processes, and those pathologies that are not a function of this specific compensable event. This report allows you to have, in one very short narrative, all the data necessary to file the appropriate PLN11 or other documentation limiting the extent of the compensable injury. By limiting the extent of the compensable injury, the life of the claim is shortened, the expenses associated with the claim are lessened, and this becomes a clear cost-saving tool to allow you to adequately and appropriately conclude the file. With a reasonable turnaround time of 4 business days, you have a defensible report at a relatively low cost that assists you in advancing the case towards its ultimate appropriate conclusion. Our ECA enables you to pay only for what you're responsible for, eliminating those comorbidities and other processes that can complicate the overall file. Paying only for the treatment that you're required to pay for clearly is a cost savings tool.